The First World War, often referred to as the Great War, witnessed a cataclysmic shift in warfare tactics and technology. Among the numerous horrors that emerged from the trenches and battlefields, one of the most gruesome was the use of toxic gases, particularly chlorine gas. This insidious weapon marked a new era in warfare, leaving an indelible scar on history as it inflicted terror, suffering, and death upon soldiers who experienced its deadly effects firsthand. The birth of chemical warfare. Prior to World War I, chemical weapons were not widely used in warfare. However, as the conflict escalated, so did the search for novel ways to break the stalemate that characterized the trench warfare on the Western Front. In April 1915, the Germans introduced a terrifying new weapon, chlorine gas. The use of gas marked a departure from traditional combat, employing an invisible, odorless agent that could silently infiltrate the trenches and render the gas masks of that era virtually useless. Chlorine gas, a silent killer. Chlorine gas was chosen as an agent of war due to its effectiveness and availability. A pale green gas with a distinct odor similar to that of bleach. Chlorine gas was released in vast quantities from pressurized canisters across enemy lines. It lingered low to the ground and, when inhaled, reacted with moisture in the respiratory system to form hydrochloric acid. The result was horrific. Victims of chlorine gas experienced intense burning sensations in their eyes, throat, and lungs, leading to suffocation, internal bleeding, and, in many cases, death. Impact on soldiers and civilians. The use of chlorine gas brought a new level of terror to the battlefield. Soldiers who had already endured the hardships of trench warfare found themselves facing an enemy that transcended traditional combat tactics. The psychological impact was immense, as troops were now confronted with the possibility of a silent, invisible, and agonizing death that could strike at any moment. Furthermore, the use of chlorine gas extended beyond the battlefield. Civilians living in close proximity to the front lines were also exposed to the deadly effects of gas attacks. The lack of adequate protection and the suddenness of gas attacks led to civilian casualties and further escalated the horror of the war. Gas masks, a grim necessity. In response to the devastating impact of chlorine gas attacks, both sides of the conflict quickly developed rudimentary gas masks. These early gas masks were made from cloth soaked in chemicals, which were intended to neutralize the effects of the gas. However, the masks were far from perfect and often uncomfortable to wear for extended periods. Soldiers were forced to breathe through filters that reduced their field of vision and made communication difficult, compounding the physical and mental toll of warfare. Legacy and lessons learned. The use of gas attacks in World War I stands as a chilling reminder of the depths to which warfare can sink when driven by desperation and the thirst for victory. The horrors of chlorine gas played a significant role in the push for international bans on the use of chemical weapons. The Geneva Protocol of 1925 prohibited the use of chemical and biological weapons, establishing a framework to prevent their future use. Conclusion. The introduction of chlorine gas as a weapon of war during World War I marked a dark chapter in human history. This new horror on the battlefield transcended the physical pain it inflicted, leaving deep psychological scars on those who witnessed or endured its effects. The legacy of chlorine gas serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences that arise when the boundaries of human morality are disregarded in the pursuit of victory.